Hello and welcome to All Backed Up. We've committed to this name now, so deal with it. I'm your host Dylan, and I'm joined by Mark. Hello, Mark.
You're right, mate.
And Jack.
Hello.
We're going to be, the plan is to be talking about games in our backlog that we are intending to play, trying to play. I think this week we were all thrown off a bit by various games.
I successfully played a game in my backlog. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but, according to you, for an hour.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And it was yesterday.
I did similar. I played a game in my backlog for about an hour this morning. So
That's hella good. What about
it's
you,
not
Jack?
too bad.
Yeah.
Didn't you start a second game from your backlog?
Yeah,
You're juggling games now.
Yeah, which is, I guess, something that I wanted to avoid doing at the start of this. So
We're
we're going
week
well
in,
so
man.
far.
Jack
but
the
yeah,
Juggler.
I mean, obviously last week I spoke about Dishonored and I started playing that, and I think I tried to get in to play Dishonored a couple of days after we recorded the last episode, and I don't know, it just didn't feel. I just couldn't get back into it. I guess that will happen with a lot of games that we play in our backlogs. There might be a point where we just decide that we need to take a break away from one game and then maybe start on a different game. So yeah, I've been playing a different game. I've been playing Mad Max, which is also on my backlog.
Hell yeah! What's Mad Max all about?
Yeah,
How are you enjoying it?
I picked it up a few years back, and I feel like it falls into that category of picking a game up in a sale and then just never really giving it the time and attention that it deserves, because you sort of see it and you're like, that's a good deal, I'm probably never going to be able to buy it at that price ever again in my life, so yeah. And then I picked it up, so it was released in 2015, I think.
Fucking hell.
That sounds about right.
Developed by Avalanche Studios and
And
published
it's
by...
the actual Just Cause team.
Yes.
Avalanche as well, isn't it? It's not, because
Yeah.
Avalanche has two teams. Not to interrupt immediately, but it's they're the actual Just Cause 1 and 2 people, because it's a different team that did Just Cause 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's which, I mean, it's a good point you make. I guess when I first sat down and played it, and you find out that it is published by Avalanche, you certainly feel it certainly feels like one of those games.
Cool.
But yeah, so I don't think it's canon with the movie, but basically you assume the role of Max, and you are driving in a wasteland. It's, I guess, set in a post-apocalyptic world. You're in a wasteland, and then suddenly you get cut off by Scabrous Scrotus and his war boys, I think is how they call it. And yeah, so you get cut off by them. They take your car, they take all of your clothes and all of this stuff. But at the same time, you hunt him back down, and then you challenge him to a fight on the back of his giant vehicle that he has. And you end up he's got like a chainsaw on the end of a stick that he's sort of trying to fight you with, and you end up grabbing his stick and basically shoving the chainsaw straight through the middle of his skull. I don't think he dies. I think somehow he survives.
I bet he's pissed as well.
Yeah, it's I guess that's how it all starts, and then you sort of find yourself awake. And I think so. This Scabrous Scrotus guy has a dog that he tries to set on you to basically attack you whilst you're on the back of his vehicle, but the dog doesn't really do any damage to you, so he kicks the dog off of the vehicle. And then a few moments later, he kicks you off. And then I guess you sort of make friends with the dog, I guess. So it's you and your dog are just walking around in the middle of nowhere. And then you see this, you see this, I guess, like hunchback sort of weird looking thing. I think he's called Chum Bucket. I think his name is. And he's basically what they call like a black hand, so he's someone who's good at like fixing stuff and building cars and stuff. So you basically get a car with him, and you drive to his little hideout that he has, and And then it's basically like, I guess, any other open world at the moment. So you can go around. There's different like scrap locations. So it really does encourage you to go out and explore. So you collect scrap to upgrade your vehicle and upgrade your character's abilities. And yeah, I feel like it definitely puts a lot more emphasis on like the vehicle to vehicle combat. Which I guess, it makes sense. Mad Max the movie is all about, driving out in the wastelands and having your own car and getting into some wild street battles. So I mean, it's certainly it's certainly I'm enjoying it so far. I feel like the like hand-to-hand combat is a bit it's simplified.
Isn't it like the Batman combat? Isn't it just like fucking press square, press X to dodge, press triangle to counter, like your basic shit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm playing it on PC at the moment.
Right.
So
you playing with a controller or mouse and keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard. So it is very much simplified. Like you get the little icon that appears above the enemy's heads when they're about to attack you, and you right click to counter, and then it's just left click to punch them. So I guess it's like I say, it's very much trying to be focused on like vehicle combat, which I mean, when you're in a wasteland and you don't really have access to a lot of weapons, I think the only weapon that you really have when you're walking around is your shotgun that you find. But apart from that, it's just fists and then shotguns. There are weapons that enemies carry that once you knock them out, you can pick up their weapons, like swords or axes or whatever. But it is very much focused on like vehicle combat. And you'll be driving around, and then all of a sudden there'll be these just these guys in the Badlands who work for Scrotus, and they'll see you and they'll say, wait a minute, that's not one of our cars, and they'll just start attacking you. So you can start ramming into them. You get a harpoon as well, so you can start like pulling stuff off of their cars. So I think I've got my harpoon upgraded to the point where I can start just pulling wheels off of cars, which is always great.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, man. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think one of the best things as well. So you obviously have your mini-map that you can look at, and there are certain like paths on the mini-map where there'll be, I guess, like a convoy of smaller cars, like sort of just transporting this bigger car, and you can hunt them down and then get into like that, I guess, iconic like scene of when you're fighting in a wasteland in your car and you're trying to pick off enemies one at a time by ramming into them. So I feel like that sort of action to it is very good as well. You also have different, so like in the different areas of the map there will be like 3 or 4 different like bases, I guess you could call them. So there'll be like places where you can go and there'll be a bunch of dudes that you can basically clear out that area to lower like the threat level in that particular area of the map.
Oh, so they're like strongholds or whatever, like Far Cry style outposts, but bigger, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Or like the strongholds that I think were in Far Cry 4, maybe the bigger outposts that cleared out like a larger area.
Yeah, well, I mean, so as you go into like a new area of the map, I think there's like these little hot air balloons that are like fixed to the ground. But you can, they're not fixed to the ground. They have like a little bit of rope attaching them to the ground, so you can go up into the hot air balloon, maintain like a steady height, and then get out your binoculars and basically scout the area. So just I guess like any of these other games, like Assassin's Creed or whatever, where you go up to the tower and you get to see the whole little area that you're in.
Do you control that, or does it just like when you go up, it unlocks a bunch of shit on the minimap?
No, so you go up there and you pull out your binoculars and you get to look around.
Oh, so it makes you engage with that system then. Like you have to be the person to spot something, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
it's not just like you. It's not like because in Assassin's Creed you just get to the top of the tower and it's like, yo, here's the map. What's up? And then you move on.
Yeah, so I guess
okay.
It sort of highlights points like I guess of interest on the map, and then only when you look at them through the binoculars really you actually see what they are. So it will tell you, oh, this is a sniper, this is like a scarecrow tower, this is a stronghold, this is whatever. and yeah, you actually get to you get to look for them. And then when you come out of your binoculars, it will bring up your map and it will say, well, see all of these things that you just saw through your binoculars. Here is where they are, like relative to where you are on the map. And then you can go out and just basically just clear out the entire area. I think that's like, I have done a couple of story missions for it, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more fun and enjoyment out of just exploring where it is and sort of just doing it bit by bit and collecting as much scrap as possible. Because as I say, you do get, so you get to like, I guess you can access your like upgrade menu at any time, just by pressing escape, and it brings you up to your menu. But you can upgrade your car, you can upgrade like all of the side panels of your car, so you can put like spikes and stuff on your car and everything like that. You can also upgrade the weapons that you have with your car, so you get this really fucking cool sniper rifle, which is like it's like a collapsible sniper rifle which has what seems to me to be like a 2 meter fucking barrel, because it's so fucking long. And it's so powerful because it basically just one hits everyone, and you can pull it out by just, I think it is pressing the number 1 on your keyboard whilst you're in your car, and it just hooks you up into the back of the car, and you've got this giant sniper rifle. And also now I've unlocked the ability so I can get this chum bucket guy to drive me around whilst I'm using the sniper rifle, which I think is quite fucking cool.
That's ridiculous.
And also, like, you can use your shotgun whilst you're driving around, so it does this thing where if you're getting into really bad situations, you can just pull out your shotgun and it will slow down time, because there are like several different targets that you can shoot out on a enemy's car. So you can choose to like shoot out the tire, you can choose to shoot out the driver, you can choose to shoot the gas tank on the back of it to blow it up. You can also harpoon a driver out of the seat, which I think is
brilliant.
Fucking ridiculous.
So does it all control well?
Yeah,
Because this sounds like while you're driving around and you're also like aiming harpoons and aiming guns at tires and shit. It sounds like if it controls well, it's great. But if it doesn't, if it's a bit finicky, it sounds like it could just get really frustrating. So does it play well?
Yeah, I feel like, I guess using mouse and keyboard, it certainly feels, it doesn't feel bad.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that hard to like drive around and then pull out a weapon and shoot something. As long as you're within a certain distance, you should be able to pull it off without a doubt. And I mean, it does. So you do get like little crosshairs when you go into this sort of slow motion mode or over the things that you can shoot at, and if you're aiming directly at the thing that you want, it will give you like a highlighted outline of what you're actually going to shoot at, so you know when you're hitting the target that you want to hit.
Sounds cool, man. I'd heard that it was surprisingly good.
Yeah,
I think that's why I picked it up in that Steam sale. I think I'd probably also got it in that Steam sale that was like £4 or something. Like probably the same one you got it in, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think also at the same, there's this like guy who's traveling around the wastelands called the Griffer, and he offers you like tokens that you can use to upgrade your abilities. So I guess these are sort of different to the other stuff that you can upgrade about Max. So they're just like, you can use like rejuvenation, so your health recovers a bit quicker, or you can use like munitions, so when you pick up ammo, you pick up maybe 1 extra bullet, and all of this sort of stuff. But yeah, he gives you those upgrades, and sort of like a weird interaction that you have with this guy who's just wandering around the wasteland. And I guess it's almost as if he's got like some kind of supernatural like aura around him, which is also cool. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like I say, I find myself just going to it and just driving around and trying to collect as much scrap as I can at the moment. They also have death runs in the game, so you'll all start off in one location, and it's basically a race to get to the finish line, and you can get there however way you want. So you could essentially just you could basically just destroy all the other cars in the race to ensure that you win.
Fuck yeah!
So
that's
yeah,
cool.
I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that I've decided to give it some time to sit down and play it, actually.
So you're not missing Dishonored at all?
I feel like Dishonored.
How far did you get in Dishonored again?
So I only really got through like the first couple of story missions, I think.
Right, okay. So, like, who was the last person you assassinated? Because I remember it by, like, areas you go to assassinate people in that first game.
So I did the first, like, High Overseer guy.
Right,
The one
okay.
you poison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've done a couple of things after that. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, I feel like eventually I will get around to playing it some more. I think, as Dylan mentioned, you know, there was some other games. I think one of them that we mentioned on the last show that we all decided to sit down and, you know, play together, that sort of got in the way. And I feel like I've never really had the chance to sit back down and get back into Dishonored, but I definitely feel like it's, you know, it's on my list of things that I want to get through and play. So I don't just want to start it up and then never return to playing it again.
Yeah. I think it's the kind of game you really need to commit like a good chunk of time to, which can be part of the problem, I guess, isn't it? Like, I remember when I played it, it would be a case of, because I had it on my laptop, I'd just play it in front of the TV, and it was easy to. I was not doing anything anyway. It was also before like uni and stuff that I started playing it, or at the beginning of uni. So I didn't really have anything else to do anyway. So it was easy to get into it, and I guess now it's one of those games that's kind of like with Mad Max, you've just jumped in and out, and like you just go in and do a bit of driving. It's a bit harder to go into Dishonored and just do a bit of killing.
Yeah.
I've got 20 hours in Dishonored. I just checked on Steam.
Oh man.
21 hours it took for me to beat that game.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's a big game. Well,
Yeah.
the thing of Dishonored that surprised me, which I didn't expect, and I think I told you about this, Dylan, when I first started playing it, is I expected it to be like Hitman. Like a first person, like a puzzle box world that you move through to get to a target, but it's actually more like Deus Ex, where it's a much, much more open area with a lot of side bits, and you get side quests within the mission, and you go and collect skill points and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I really didn't expect that, and I really like Deus Ex. And so I was super into Dishonored and that kind of like much, much more open level design with, you know, side quests to find and unlock and that kind of thing. But it definitely is it's a time sink. Like, because I think I went for like all the skill points and went and sort of collected all the collectibles and tried to get everything. And like I said, 21 hours, which is for a game that's relatively straightforward. That's a lot of time to spend in it. So you can definitely lose time in it.
I love that game, and I've felt like I played it a lot. I've only got 13 hours on my Steam, and I've played through it twice.
Oh
So-
wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't go as in depth with a lot of the stuff, though. I think I just went through it and chose in the first one I just did it whatever, and then in the second time I went through, I did it like keeping it super sneaky kind of style.
Right. Yeah, because I played it like I played Deus Ex, which is I went round and I looked in every single nook and cranny and explored everything and like tried out multiple avenues of trying something and like would saving and reloading to try different ways of getting through an area and just like totally fucking just obsessed over all the minutiae in it completely, because that's how I guess what's the fucking term for that genre of game that I'm completely blanking on right now? It's called a immersive sim.
Yeah.
That's the way I do. Yeah, like Deus Ex, like Dishonored. I just get super fucking into that, like expansive world design, and like I was trying everything and jumping around all over the place. And Dishonored's really cool, but I can also understand how it can be very hard. Just to like, you can't just jump in and play a bit of Dishonored. You have to minimum probably like a couple of hours per play session, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I really like, though, Jack, how you sort of, before we started recording in at the beginning, you were kind of like, I've not really played any of my backlog this week, I'm sorry, guys. And it was just that you'd not played Dishonored, because it sounds like you've played a fuck ton of Mad Max.
Sounds cool as well.
I mean, like, this is what I guess I mentioned it as, you know, as soon as I started talking about Mad Max, you know, when we decided to change the format to this, I didn't want to fall into the hole of, I'm going to play a bit of one game and then play a bunch of another game and then go back and play the bit of the other game and then, start jumping around between games. But yeah, I mean...
Jack, it says here on Steam that you've played 14 hours of Mad Max.
That is wrong, because I think I played some of it before and then I just never got back around to it, so I don't know how much of that is this week.
Because I was about to say, that is a lot.
I think I might have... Yeah, I'm not too sure how much I would have had on there before I started playing it again this week.
Last played yesterday, though.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? What game have you been playing from your backlog?
I have played 63 minutes of Tomb Raider from 2013.
Nice.
Oh wow, okay.
The beginning of that game's real slow as well.
I don't know. Shit is happening. I've mostly just pushed forward and watched shit happen, but shit is definitely happening.
That's what I mean, like the play-wise. Obviously, there's sort of story being initiated, but I felt like when because I think I played the first couple of hours maybe, and I just remember being like, I'm just learning how to shoot a bow and be boring and
fighting deer, and then there is the wildlife on that island is fucking mental, because there is like this tiny clearing you're in, and honest to God, it's like probably a circle about 30 meters in diameter, and it is just full of, there's like stag and wolves, but the wolves only fight you, and it just doesn't make any sense at all.
It's a peaceful community.
No, because all the wolves want to eat me.
Yeah, well,
there's so many of them as well.
You're not part of the community. They're incredibly racist to any outsiders.
They don't like outsiders.
Yeah. But, they're friendly with all the different people amongst their group.
Again, I don't know. I had heard about it and was interested in it, and I'd heard about it as like, it's bringing Lara Croft back to basics, and it's doing all the, like, it's not making her like the fucking hyper badass, hyper sexualized fucking action hero she was before or whatever. And then that game just literally opens with like a long slow motion jiggly glistening cleavage shot, and I'm just like, what the fuck, this is not what people said it was going to be. But I don't know, 2013 was a different time, maybe we had a different tolerance to that kind of thing. But yeah, it's all right. I've been really impressed by Camilla Luddington's vocal performance. Actually, I will say that I don't think I've really got into the gameplay in earnest yet. They're still kind of introducing mechanics and stuff, and there are some bits about it that I'm maybe not hugely impressed by. And I think there are some problems with the controls for the PC port as well. Like it feels a little bit janky in a way that maybe isn't the best. But what I will say in the first hour that's really stood out to me is Camilla Luddington gives a really good, really nuanced vocal performance. Like like when they have like the flashbacks to them on the boat and stuff, she sounds completely different, and just really, really good job from her at embodying the character of like Lara Croft on this island. Like, super impressive. So
they had her on. I remember when it came out, they had her on Conan to talk about it, and which I thought was strange in the first place that they had someone being interviewed on a late night show for their voice acting performance in a game.
Well, I guess she is an actress in her own right. Like when I started playing, I was like, oh shit, it's the British nanny from Californication, and then looked it up, and it's Camilla Luddington. She was, so I knew her from something else that wasn't Tomb Raider before Tomb Raider, I guess is what I'm trying to say there.
I remember, because that particular interview I thought was funny, because they did, and I think the selling point was they had her just talking about all the different ways you can die in that game, and that she had to do, part of this voice acting thing, she had to do obviously sort of a unique sound for every single one.
Yeah.
And there's a ridiculous amount of ways you could die in that game.
So I have noticed that, actually. her dialogue and the way she talks and talks to herself and that kind of stuff is really good, and she portrays a lot of like a wide range of emotions really, really well. She also has done easily, I'm going to say, I've already heard like 100 different unique ow, just like all these fucking weird noises and exclamations. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I haven't had any of the really savagely like gory death scenes actually.
Have you done the going down the like water thing? I don't know what you'd call it. Like a water. It's not a waterfall, but you're like whitewater rafting, except you're not in a raft. You're just going down some water.
Possibly, I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like you'd remember it if you had. It's like a longish, and it's kind of it's almost what's the word? My brain is apparently not working today. When you press buttons quickly, QuickTime events. There you go.
Right.
It's like a QuickTime event kind of thing, but lasts for ages.
Okay.
But you're going down there, and I think that's one of the bits where you start getting the really horrible deaths. And I think it's fairly early on.
I feel like I did have a bit where I was going down some water and doing some QuickTime events, but I didn't fail the QuickTime events, I guess, and didn't
You might
see
have
the
just
death.
fucking nailed it, yeah.
Yeah, like it fucking opens with her just getting rebarred straight through the gut. Like it's fucked up. It's rough, and then you have to mash E on the PC to yank the huge chunk of metal out of her gut.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
and it's pretty grim. And then like 10 minutes later, she's just walking around like it's no thing. So good for her, I guess.
She's got bowels of steel.
That's what they say I have. Yeah, I don't know. It's still pretty early. I've been playing mostly other stuff this week. Like Resident Evil 2, and obviously we played a bit of Apex Legends, but it seems cool. I'm going to keep playing it and see how it goes. I want it to open up maybe, and see. It's got quite a big map, and it's got some other bits and pieces, and like a skill tree and all this other stuff. So there seems to be more to unlock and have happen, and so I would like to see that, and I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see out more of her character, I guess, because like I said, it's kind of the best thing about it really is her vocal performance is really good. Like it's got a lot of pathos in it. Like you immediately, when she's fucking sitting there shivering in the rain under this like rocky outcrop trying to radio for help, you really fucking feel it. Like she does a good job of portraying those emotions. It's impressive.
So is it like I guess it probably isn't like open world in the sense that it's all just one big map and you can go to different areas, but I suppose that each sort of individual mission does have different ways to like tackle it, I guess.
I don't know really. So far it seems to be I've done a couple of really linear sections which were like moving. Basically I just pushed forward and hit QuickTime events and stuff happened. I had a couple of like quite small puzzly areas, a little bit like Uncharted, where it's like, oh, I need to get through this area. How do I pick up these items and then jump on this thing in just the right order that it allows me to get through this area or whatever? And then a couple of slightly bigger areas that have been like, walk around this area, collect scrap, I think it is. Again, I think it's another game where you collect scrap or supplies or something. Fight wolves. I don't know. I assume because the tooltips that happen during the loading screens have told me this, I assume at some point I start getting to like bigger fights with humans, because one of the tooltips was heavily armoured enemies can only be damaged in the legs, and then when you shoot them they fall over. So I was like, well, I guess that means at some point I'm going to stop fighting wolves and start fighting dudes in big armoured suits, Uncharted style, which sounds alright. I don't know. I don't really know where it's going to go, if I'm honest. I don't know a huge amount about it, other than, apparently there are loads of horrible ways to die, and like a couple of bits where you like uncomfortably fight off a sexual assault that are maybe not the best.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't really know I don't know, Jack. If I'm honest with you, I'm excited to see where it goes. If I'm honest, because it so far has something interesting. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to come out of it being like, oh shit, man, this is the best game ever. I suspect I'm going to come out of it going, this is competent but problematic.
Yeah.
I've heard the sequel's really good. I've heard Rise of the Tomb Raider is incredible. I've heard it's like the best one out of all three by a country mile.
Is that the one that they made the film out of?
No, I think the film's based on that 2015 one.
Yeah, the film's based on the first one, I think. The Alicia Vikander one over Hazel Vikander. Yeah. I think the film's based on Tomb Raider 2013.
Yeah. It starts with that same boat scene.
Right, okay. I haven't seen the film. It didn't look very good.
It's not bad. I think it's similar to how you describe the game. Not bad, but, competent. Not the best thing ever, but competent.
Oh, maybe I will watch it then. I recently, within the last 6 months, watched the 2 Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider films back to back in one evening. So there's definitely a precedent for me watching dubious movies about Tomb Raiders. So yeah.
Now you've got to watch all 3. See how they hold up to each other.
Shit. Those Angelina Jolie ones don't really hold up at all, if I'm honest. Yeah, Jack, I don't know. I would like to finish it so that I can say that I played it, because it seems like it was definitely of a time and there was a conversation around it, and I think that is an interesting thing to be part of. And I would like to play that second one, because I've heard that second one's really good. But yeah, at the moment, it's definitely a bit weird. Yeah, there's some issues with like the PC port as well. I think it doesn't like, because of the way I think they register button presses with the keyboard, a lot of the QuickTime events look really bad, because it'll be like, oh, hit left and right.
Yeah.
And so you'll be like tapping A and D back and forth. And because that's like, I guess, significantly more sort of mechanical and binary than waggling the left stick, which I guess is what it would be on a controller back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, it makes the cutscene, instead of the cutscene which is being QuickTime evented playing out smoothly, it like skips back and forth and like seems to glitch out quite a lot in a really weird way. And just like little things like that, and like ways, like I've already had her glitch out and move really weird when I was like running, because I hit left and back and then forward in like the wrong order, and basically she moved really jarringly, and then her left leg got stuck up in like a running position, and she just kind of slid around it like hovered in the air and sort of moved around really smoothly and just shit like that. Which I think does come from the way, I think they're just registering inputs from the keyboard in a really weird way. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like if I press these keys in a way that it doesn't expect an analog stick to move, it just like freaks out on me, which is a bit disappointing, really. But I don't know. It's cool, if a bit laughable. I've been making notes, and I will. I think I will try and formulate a better opinion after playing a bit more of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's cool, but it is weird also. Like, yeah, tonally all over the place. Like, jumping from a cutscene to you fucking trapped with a bear trap, and you're like shooting wolves because wolves are suddenly running at you, and then you kill 4 wolves, and then it cuts to another cutscene, you get released from the bear trap, and then you do a different thing, and yeah, I don't know, it's... Yeah, I like I said, hopefully in the coming weeks I'll be able to formulate a more coherent opinion on it, because at the moment I'm very much like, seems okay, but could actually not be very good, could be brilliant. Yeah, I don't know, I'll check back in next week, we'll see how it is. How about you, Dylan?
So I played Fallout? Like I said, I played a bit more Fallout this morning, and I feel like I'm still quite early on, so it's hard to really... I think we're all in a similar place with like Dishonored, Tomb Raider, Fallout. It's like the beginning of a game is quite hard to ever really judge how you'll actually feel, because I'm still at the point where I'm like, So I've just got to Megaton, and I'm going around asking people where my dad is, stuff like that. I didn't kill the
Megaton
two-headed
pretty great,
cow.
though?
Megaton's cool.
You didn't kill the two-headed cow?
I saw him and I was like, oh no, Jack warned me about this.
Don't kill the Brahmin. You shouldn't be killing the Brahmin.
Oh, man.
I was warned, man. I was warned.
I
They got some
accidentally
big
shot
udders.
it, man. It's not my fault.
How do you accidentally shoot it? You definitely
Shut
did it
up.
on purpose,
Shut
Jack. But so, like, I'm still quite early on, but I like what I've done so far. I think the baseball bat is a shit melee weapon because all the raiders have faster melee weapons. So I just die.
Oh, so what? I actually did listen to your guys' thing from last week, but I don't remember what kind of build are you playing? Like, how do you do your special and like your starting skills and stuff?
So I didn't. I spoke about it a bit, but more I spoke about the. So I took that goat thing, the gold
Right.
occupational something
Aptitude test or
aptitude
something,
test.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And then I just stuck with whatever I got because I figured that's the best way to play RPGs. And I got, I think, like science, medicine, and some other shit one. Like, not combat related at
Did
all.
you say it was like
Right.
speech or something?
Yeah, I think it was speech. So
That's pretty wild, actually, as an opening role, because they can't really do a lot with that to start off with, can you?
yeah, it's tricky. So then, like, you get a bunch of other stats that you plug into stuff. So I've put a few into sort of sneaky things because I always like being sneaky. Being sneaky's fun.
You can really exploit stealth in that game as well.
In
In a way that's super fun.
I want to pickpocket everybody. That's my aim. Although I do
You can pickpocket people and put grenades in their pockets.
I've seen that.
You can
already.
take their shit and then put bombs in their pockets and run away. It's the best.
It's just mean.
It's so good.
What I don't like is the whole losing karma thing. Because it makes me feel bad that I picked a lock. And, like, I get that that's the point of it, but at the same time, nobody saw me pick this lock. Nobody saw me steal this thing. Why am I losing karma? It's not fair. I'm the kind of guy who plays these games with the intent of, I don't know, unless I'm purposely doing a bad run.
What I will say is that I did all the good options and the good quest lines and stuff in all the actual stories and missions and side quests and shit.
Yeah.
But then fucking picked every lock and robbed everybody blind, and I still, like, from about 15 hours in, had like a maxed out good karma meter. Like, the amount you get for making the good options in quests and the amount you lose for picking a lock are so out of whack that even though they'll be saying like, oh, less karma, it really doesn't move the needle that much, so I wouldn't worry about it, because I know what you mean, because I was the same kind of way when I played it, but it doesn't move the needle that much, so you'll be alright. As long as you don't blow up Megaton, as long as you don't detonate the bomb in the middle of it, it's pretty hard to actually get negative karma in that game.
I'll do my best not to do that. Because I think so far I've been picking mostly the good responses to people. Although I did kill What's the Chop's dad right at the beginning. I killed the overseer of the vault.
Oh, he's a dick though.
He was a dick, that's why I killed him. And then
Mate,
the daughter's
smoke
like,
that bitch.
you killed my dad, how could you? And it's like, he was being a dick. What am I meant to do? He called me a name, I'm going to kill that bitch. Sorry, no gendered insults. I killed that butthead.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. There's a gender in there. I don't know if it counts as gendered insult, but there is a gender in there, isn't there? What do we do, Mark? Anyway.
So how are you finding Megaton? Because in my head, Megaton is like, you know, it's a microcosm of everything about Fallout 3 that I think is incredible. Like, it's intricate. It's got loads of different quest lines that cross over. It's got different fights and people you can talk to and different things you can buy and unlock. Like, I remember Megaton really, really fondly.
So I've not been too much into it yet, so I've sort of run around. I spoke to Moriarty and I spoke to the sheriff mayor and stuff like that. So I've not explored Megaton itself a lot yet. I ran out to go find my dad almost immediately.
Okay.
But I like the sort of the layout of it. I think it's a cool little town. if a bit messy, but I mean, it's meant to be messy, right? It's a settlement that built up around an atomic bomb. So it makes sense.
And it's got like the children of the atom who worship the atomic bomb in the middle of it, which is like such a cool bit, I guess. Yeah,
so that's one thing I sort of I've already noticed, and I mean, it's been around long enough that people talk about this kind of thing on the internet now, but the story building in it is ridiculous, because I mean, I'm barely in it, and I was talking to Moriarty and he was being a dick, so he sent me off to go be his muscle and get some money off of some lady or something, and I felt bad, so it's just like, just give me some money and I'm tell him you're gone, you know, easy. Went back and gave him whatever money he asked for, but it was like, you're being a bit of a twat. I'm just trying to find my dad. So I stole all his stuff.
Nice.
And that included like the password for his terminal. So once you had that, you can just log on to his machine and read all his stuff. And all it is a few like excerpts about like visitors and people staying at his inn or whatever they call it. And it's like really cool. There's no reason you'd necessarily even think to, because it's in the back and it's a lock terminal that you have to find the password for. So you're not necessarily going to even read it, really. I guess if you're in Megaton a lot, you might end up coming around to it. But like immediately, it's just telling me stuff about these people who I've not actually spoken to yet. But then once you go out, you see that these people are out there. And I just thought that was quite cool. I also found it funny when I read it before I really spoke to anybody, and he was talking about how Andy Skeel or something was opening up a bar in Megaton, the bastard, and it's like, but it's okay, we'll still do okay because we've got what he doesn't, Nova, the best refreshment in town. And I was like, well, maybe it's another drink. Like I know it's Nuka-Cola, but maybe there's another one, Nova, and that's why he's unique. And then I went out and I was speaking to people, and there's Nova, this prostitute, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah,
which I found quite funny.
I remember that.
So I really like that element of it so already, and I think that's quite similar to why I kind of like Dishonored, is that, and like why I like RPGs and stuff like that. There's this element of really sort of in-depth world building that isn't necessarily forced on you as part of the game, which I often find kind of annoying. Like I get really bored of sitting through missions that are just, here's story and you have to sit through it. But I like when the story is sort of like that, just you pick it up and you put it together.
It's your story, cool. Effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, so far I feel like that's been the biggest part of it for me, because I mean, obviously the controls and the fighting is a bit janky.
But... And it's such a Bethesda RPG in so much as when you start off playing the game, even if you have a complete mastery of the controls, you're bad in combat because you haven't got the points in combat yet.
Yeah.
And so when you get those points and you get those skills or whatever, you then get better at combat. And when you get the better gun, it's got better repair and all that other stuff. You have to improve through the systems of the game rather than through your own capability, I guess. Yeah, definitely. Which I mean is kind of, I think there's pros and cons to both, right? It's because obviously in Witcher it's the kind of, if you're good enough you can just fight anyone, right? Yeah, because the skills in The Witcher 3 barely make a difference. Yeah, but then this, if you're not good enough, then you're just a bit shit. And I feel like both. It depends what you want from your game at the time. But I guess the Fallout one is kind of more realistic, right? Because it means that no matter how good you are at games, your character is still shit, which makes sense. But also for The Witcher, it makes sense because at the beginning of Witcher 3, you're not some stupid little kid who's just come out of a bomb shelter and is like, what the fuck is this? I guess I'll kill this giant monster because I'm just that good. Yeah, you're motherfucking Geraldo of Riviera. You're the man. So it makes sense that he can already kill anybody if you can really utilise the controls. But yeah, I don't know. So far, I'd like it. I'm excited to hear how more of Fallout goes for you. So, like, what are you? So what happens in Megaton? Do you have to go speak to the woman in the shop? Have you done that yet?
I've not done that yet. So what
You
I've
should
done
go to
so
the shop
far
and
is
speak to the nice lady in the shop, Moira, her name is. She'll hook you up with some good shit.
I did ask about that, and he told me to go there. But then I went to Moriarty basically straight away, and the sheriff mayor had already told me not to trust him, so I was sassy to him. I didn't. I went and did his stuff, but then I gave him his 100 coins and told him to choke on them. So I feel pretty proud of myself.
Nice.
But yeah, I've done basically nothing else. I've sort of done that mission. I went out, and then on the way to find my dad, I came across these two raiders shooting a scavenger, and I was like, fuck that, and I beat them up
Hell yeah.
and stole their clothes, so now there's a bunch of just naked people, which I appreciate. But yeah, so like, I've not really, the story so far I've not super gotten into, but the little bits
Right,
I have
well,
that I enjoy.
I recommend sort of exploring some of that area around Megaton and doing some of those story bits for like a little while before continuing with the main part of the story, just because like I think the first thing you do after Megaton is you get sent into the city proper, and that's a lot of just like hanging out in underground tunnels that are basically identical for like a few hours.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of where I'm going, I think, into the city.
Yeah, so if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely go for it. But I would also say like get into the game and the systems and get like kind of committed to it. Maybe in some of the more interesting areas around Megaton.
Yeah.
Before beelining straight for like the next quest step, because it could be very, very, very easy to just be like, you know what, these tunnels are all the same, I'm fucking bored of this, I'm done. These tunnels are all the same and they're confusing to navigate, and I keep coming out into tiny, tiny areas of street that aren't useful in any way, and just like give up, which would be a shame because there's a lot of really good stuff in that game that I think, especially with like your sense of humour and the stuff you're into, I think you would be like Fallout and 3, I think like Fallout 1, 2 and 3, especially Fallout 4, I think maybe not as much from what I've seen. I haven't played 4, but 1, 2 and 3 really, they trade in that kind of like dark absurdist humour that is like quite, it is very like Terry Pratchett-y almost, in the way it is like just bizarre and can be quite morbid, but like in quite a funny way, and I think you would really vibe off that.
Yeah, definitely.
But you need to just, like I think I would be careful of going straight into the city straight away though, because knowing the way you play games, there's a chance that you could just like burn out on hanging out in those tunnels for ages.
Although I'm forgetting all phrases today. I did sharpen my teeth on the library in Halo, I guess. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is true.
I'm pretty used to dark, boring tunnels for hours on end.
Man, fuck the library.
So I think, we've all spoken about our backlog thing, and I don't know if we're planning on doing this with the show, but I feel like we've all kind of mentioned now that we didn't necessarily utilize our time so vitally or as well as we could have because of Apex Legends, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we should say at least a tiny bit about that game. I don't know if you want to, or if you want to just stop now because we've got 10 minutes.
Let's talk about Apex Legends. It took one evening away from me this week in its entirety, so... Yeah.
It took a few away from... I think I played like around 3 nights I played some Apex. And so on the last show we spoke about the rumours about it, but obviously that then came out on Wednesday. So the game was already out. Which is ridiculous.
That's the way it goes sometimes. When you record at the weekend and upload on a weekday, sometimes you're behind the news, man.
Yeah. Sometimes a AAA game that gets 10 million players, sometimes that just happens in that interim. It just comes out of nowhere.
10 million players. That's so many.
Yeah, this is a game that came out on Monday with no advertising.
Yeah.
EA must be licking their big old greedy lips.
Have you seen their stocks?
Great.
Have you seen their stocks in the past day?
Have they gone up? Like, I imagine they must have.
After this 10 million players thing, they went down on like the 6th of February, they went down 14% because they released their like quarterly earnings or whatever, and they're like, oh, they were shit. And then
I think the Anthem demo also came out, and everyone was like, "Yo, Anthem is broken and bad."
Yeah, and
which
then,
I can't imagine helped.
In the past 2 days, so on the 8th it looks like actually, but I think basically when they said there was 10 million players, it's now rocketed back up.
Oh man.
To it went up again 16% or something back to above where it was. And if you look over the sort of last, I don't know how much this is, maybe sort of 2 or 3 months, it's now at its highest point it was. Apex Legends is doing good things for EA, which I'm happy and sad about.
Andrew Wilson is going to be the most fucking insufferable replicant-looking motherfucker at E3, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He's just going to be a horrible, smug robot man like he always...
But it's really tricky because Respawn, I think, are an incredible team.
Yeah.
They've made 2 of my favourite games, and now this one's pretty good. It's probably my favourite Battle Royale, but I've only played Fortnite and this. So that's not much competition. But I mean, Respawn I think are great, but then EA obviously, this is a big circle jerk, whatever. But, yeah, whatever. You know people's opinions on EA.
Yep.
So I find it tricky.
We don't have to rewrite the book on that.
Exactly, yeah. I find it tricky to balance my feelings for this game, because if it does so well, yeah, maybe they give Respawn more money to do what they want, but also, are they going to let them make Titanfall if Titanfall 2 did nowhere near this well? I find it
probably not.
sad.
I don't know.
But
I guess Respawn also have that Star Wars thing in the can, don't they?
Yeah, the Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, Star Wars, Jedi, Fallen Order. There's too many colons in that tile.
Yeah, something weird. But I mean, so I think that's from what I've been reading about how when this all happened, and lots of stuff about how Respawn work sort of came out, and not in a bad way or anything, but the Star Wars team is seemingly a completely different team. They said a handful of Titanfall people went over to just sort of help things run. But it's mostly Respawn was saying the way they work is they hired a game director to do it that they thought fitted with their idea, and then they hired a bunch of people. So it's kind of just a new group within Respawn.
Okay.
So that's kind of already a bit well, I guess it's something completely different to expect. At least Respawn are overseeing it, so there's still the element of they know what they're doing. But it'll be exciting to see where it goes, I feel like.
Definitely.
Because it will be something new, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of Apex Legends, I think what was it? Was it on Tuesday when we all sort of decided to sit down and play some of it together?
Yeah.
And I feel like I definitely feel like with games like that, when there isn't a single player option in a Battle Royale game, I feel like I get a lot more enjoyment out of playing it with people that I know. And I guess that's part of the reason why I haven't really played it since we sat down and played it, because when we played it, I know me and Dylan played a couple of games before you came online, Mark, and we somehow managed to finish second in the lobby. And just the thrill of doing well in a game like that.
It's so fucking exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tense as fuck, and my heart was racing afterwards, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing it with you guys.
Yeah. It
well,
really
that was
does
a lot of the
get your heart
conversation. Oh, sorry, Dylan.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that was a lot of the conversation that came out around PUBG when PUBG came out, which was this idea that, it is nominally an action game, but really it's a horror game.
Yeah.
The way that you play it and interact with it, and the way you feel when you play it, is far more in line with. Well, it's more in line with the way I'm playing Resident Evil 2 now. You're pushed for resources, you don't know what's around any corner, you're constantly nervous and on edge, and you're not sure what's happening, and when you get out of a combat encounter successfully, you feel really fucking great. And it has a lot more in common And Apex Legends is the same kind of thing, and it's kind of the battle royale modus operandi, I guess. Is like, yeah, nominally it's an action game, as in there is like combat and fighting and shooting dudes, but really the way that it makes you feel as a player experience is far more like a horror game. Like you said, you when you play these battle royale games, your heart's fucking racing because it's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I think as well, it's an element of this one at least. I think I felt it less with Fortnite. It's a very tactical feeling game, like the entire time, and so I think that's why those moments feel very tense, because you're trying to work out these tactics, and then I feel like everything's go go go.
Yeah.
So your body's just like, oh, we got to fucking figure this out, and I think it does it actually really quite well. And I know what you're saying, Jack, about when you've got other people playing with you. When you can talk to them, it's obviously a lot easier. You can discuss what you're doing, so it makes it easier. But one of the things that they've got in there that I don't know if I think it's unique to this one. They've got this pinging system.
I've not only not seen this in another battle royale, I've not seen this in another video game, and other video games need to rob the ping system, because this is fucking incredible.
It's so good, isn't it? And it meant that, so I've played quite a bit without other people. So I played, on Monday I wasn't playing with anybody when it came out. I was just playing with randomers. And then I think I played one other time without anybody, but I played with my brother the other time, so... But that ping system meant that I was kind of worried about the 3-people teams, because if you can't talk to the people you're playing with, then how are you going to play that kind of game? Like, how are you going to work together? Yeah. But that ping system legitimately lets you, because you can... Not only can you just ping where you want to go or ping anything, it's they call it like the smart ping or something at some point. I feel like they reference it as, or somebody did in somewhere, whatever. Like, you can ping certain things and it will automatically be like, okay, here's this gun, or there's an enemy over there.
Yeah.
It's context sensitive, isn't it?
Yeah, and it works so well. Like, it means you can communicate with people who you're just not speaking to in quite an impressive way. And
don't they have... There's a call and response thing as well, isn't there? So you can ping, but there's like a respond button.
Yeah, if you ping someone else's ping, you acknowledge it.
Yeah, and like, so I didn't experience this playing on the console. I don't remember what the button is, but I was listening to a review, some people talking about it, and they were playing the PC version. And apparently on the PC version, there is like it's not like you don't ping something, but it's like a sort of location agnostic call out. So like they were saying, if you're getting shot at and you press H, it does an alert to the rest of your team being like, I'm being shot at. But then it says, by this kind of weapon from this direction.
Fucking hell, really?
That's insane.
And I don't know, I think it's like down on the D-pad or something on the console or something. I haven't tested this. But apparently on the PC version at least, I think you like press H and it will do a call out to your team and stuff like that. Like it's a really, really robust system they've developed.
So and
the fact that it'll be able to be like being shot at like 270 G7 or whatever the fuck. It might not do bearing. I might be making that up. But it definitely like will say like G7 or R103 or whatever the fuck. It will like call out the weapon type and that you're being shot and tell the rest of your team, which is fucking cool.
Yeah. I've heard that as well. I didn't know you could do. I thought it was just an automatic thing, but I've heard people calling out that they're being shot, and it's really helpful because sometimes you hear the shots and you're not sure if it's just someone far away or your teammate just shooting off randomly. But then you hear that they're actually getting shot, and then you see their like beacon can lights up red, I think, if they get hit.
Yeah, so I think you trigger that. I think that call out is something you trigger yourself. I don't remember. I think it's like use one of the D-pad buttons, I think. Or maybe it's like you use one of the context menus on the D-pad to get up the ping change or something. I don't know. The controls are elaborate on that game.
Yeah, it's why there's no emotes.
Yeah. But yeah, that ping system should just be fucking stolen by everything, ever. The problem with the ping system, though, is it doesn't stop what happened to you and I, Dylan, when we tried to play that one last extra game after Jack left, where even though you're the jump master, the rando you're playing with just immediately peels off and runs away and goes and does his own thing and dies immediately.
Yeah.
Which, like, you could, whatever fucking communication system you want, however well made it is, you can never stop randos from acting like randos, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had that not actually happen too much, to be fair. And I'm not sure if that's maybe just because it's the beginning. So I feel like people are more in line with what's expected at the beginning, and then maybe in a few days it'll be more everybody's just doing their own thing because they hate the jump master always taking them to the ship and dying or whatever. But yeah, you do definitely get that. Like I think that's just annoying because it is very team based. Like if you don't have your team with you, it can really fuck you up. And sometimes for whatever reason, your guy just shoots off, and it's like, if you die, we can't help you, and we're not going to be able to get to you in the 90 seconds that you have once you're dead.
Yeah, that is. They built such a good communication system, and the ping system and everything else is so robust, and it feels good to play. And so I know why it is exclusively 3-man teams in their battle royale, but also I do kind of wish it had a solo mode.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's something that they might be looking at, or at least I feel like if the community, like if they listen to the community and the community gets enough like concern over it being, well, look, I'm jumping into random games and it's just, causing chaos.
But it just wouldn't work with the hero mode, would it? Because
because you just have everyone playing fucking Gibraltar or whatever it is. You just have everyone playing the tanky hero.
Exactly.
He's got the best health and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You definitely get nobody playing Pathfinder or Lifeline.
Yeah.
Or whatever she's called. Because
they would just become obsolete, basically.
Yeah, well, they're both support characters. It's like you do not need to be a support character if you're playing solo. But then also, like, I guess Bloodhound might be okay, Wraith might be okay. But they're not, like you say, Gibraltar's just going to be... It's like, well, I'll just put a shield around myself. Even then, it's not that great because he's a lot slower. So you need that support of other players. So I feel like a solo mode wouldn't work. I think people are going to call for it because, I don't know, lots of people don't like playing with other people. But
I guess what they should really do, probably actually, instead of making a solo mode and completely subverting their own design and wasting or if you had a solo mode, oh, excuse me, if you had a solo mode, you would basically just go, well, we don't have to use the right bumper anymore.
Yeah.
The right bumper is basically, it might as well not even be there because you're not going to be pinging stuff when you're playing by yourself.
no.
But what they should probably actually do is put in like a commendation system or like a karma system or something where you can be like, this dude, this rando I jumped in with, he ran away. He didn't play as a team. He immediately peeled off, immediately died, really far away on the other side of the map, and we couldn't do anything about it. And you just say, and that just puts like a negative commendation to him, whatever. And then you just say, well, all the people who want to play like that start getting slowly filtered through matchmaking into games together, and all the people who are like, oh yeah, this person, this rando actually tried to play as a team and used the ping system properly, and they get a positive commendation, and they'll just start to be filtered into those games. And you just say it's still a squad-based game, but you have like a community voting system like Overwatch does and that kind of thing, where because like Overwatch will do, I think in Overwatch you can give people like +1s or whatever for playing well as a team, like playing well in a team and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the way you do it, right? Because that way they can keep to their own game design, but they can start to just filter out the arseholes naturally.
Yeah, I think it would have to be an exclusively like positive thing though. Because I worry that if you had people giving negatives, then you'll get downvoted or whatever. Obviously, that's not the
I guess
term.
you can grief people, can't you? If you do that?
It introduces a level of griefing that I think is like if someone dies because you weren't necessarily fast enough or whatever, then they're going to blame you because people can be dicks. Even though it might not be their fault.
But, I mean, and the system would still work, I guess, if it was purely positive. But I think that is the kind of thing you'd need to do, because I mean, I haven't played enough of it to really say one with the other, but I've played one game with a random person, and they immediately ran away and didn't play in a team. So and then they died immediately, and we were left, and we played as a 2-man squad, which I mean, we then fucking died immediately anyway. So I'm not saying it's their fault that we didn't win, but shit. I definitely think that is that's quite a disappointing thing to have seen so early on in the game, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's just unfortunate for you. I've had it a few times, but I think so far, it's the community's been fairly okay, and I'm not sure if maybe one of the sort of funniest things I've seen about Fortnite, in the past few weeks, is this guy saying on Reddit how much he loves Fortnite, even though he's never played it, because it's taken all of those dickheads away from the games he does like. And he was saying how Dota 2 has been such a positive community in the past few weeks and months, because all of the annoying little kids who have gone to Fortnite aren't in Dota anymore, being griefing shitbags. Because I feel like that's generally the people who are dicks. It's kids, because they don't really know any better. It's not malicious. Kids are just kind of dicks. So I feel like there's an element of that Apex Legends, maybe it will do if it does well, but I don't think it necessarily has as many of the kid players that play in Fortnite. So I think generally so far it's been an okay community.
Well, that's good.
Although my microphone doesn't work with it, so I can't ever hear anybody speaking and they can't hear me, which is annoying.
Nice.
Which is why I've had to, when we played, I had to party up instead of doing it through the squad.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I don't really know how the chat on Xbox works, so I didn't really realise that was the issue. But that's a weird issue.
Yeah, I can see that other people are speaking, but I can't hear them. And I'm not sure if... So often games will have that speaker come up if someone's making sound or if you're making sound.
Yeah.
I think this doesn't have it for you, so I don't actually know if I'm making any sound. All I know is that I can't hear the other people when they're speaking, which is quite annoying. But oh well.
It's a cool game.
Yeah, I'll definitely be giving it a bit more of a go, but I don't know how long it'll last for me. I played Fortnite for a week and enjoyed it, and then never went back. So maybe this will be the same.
Oh man,
I don't see that happening. Fortnite isn't a sci-fi first-person shooter.
True.
And let's be honest, Dylan, you only really play one kind of game. Even your backlog game that you've picked is a sci-fi first-person shooter.
Oh, fuck, it is, isn't it? Shit.
You only play one type of video game.
Actually,
or at least...
the past few days as well, I've been playing... Because I was talking about, before we started recording, I was talking about how I got Game Pass. I've been playing Ashen, because that's on Game Pass.
I heard that's really good.
It's really cool, really fucking hard, though. I keep dying. Constantly.
Mate.
Good, though.
Cool stuff.
And not
Can't
first
talk
person.
about it, though, because it's too new.
No guns. Hey, Apex Legends is newer.
Yeah. We've all been playing Apex Legends, though.
True. I just wanted to say, it's only the, vast majority is sci-fi first-person shooters. There's a small amount of not that. I played a little bit of Snake Pass the other day as well.
Fuck snakes.
Not even a person. Third snake puzzle.
Climber.
Platformer. Anyway.
Okay, I'm having a lot of fun here, but I'm also savagely hungover, and we've been talking for over an hour now, and I think I'm dying. We may have to stop.
This is reasonable. I think we've run out of things to talk about anyway. Oh wow, we spoke a while. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
I've
just started to feel pretty ropey. I need to have a little sit down, a little lie down somewhere, I think.
Mark's first pass out on podcast, right? You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes at Shouting Over Static. You can find us on YouTube at Low Expectations Media, and I don't know how we're going to format it. They'll be called All Backed Up, maybe SOS All Backed Up. Something like that.
I have filed them as All Backed Up, video game SOS, and that is the playlist they're on in on YouTube, and it's what the SoundCloud page is now called as well.
Sick. So that's where you can find us.
Yep. Also, I've made some, in absence of our podcast artiste chore, I've made some very, very high quality temporary podcast art that everyone should go check out.
Hey man, I think it's simplistic yet elegant.
So have you actually seen it, Jack?
If it's the one that's on the SoundCloud now, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one on the SoundCloud now.
Yeah,
Is it on the YouTube as well?
Yeah, it's the video. It's the picture for the YouTube video.
I think it's like I just think it's simplistic, which I think is it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
It's gorgeous, Mark. It's so good.
It's so good. I definitely didn't make it in 4 seconds in Paint because I needed a picture that didn't say "showing over static."
Right. There you go.
Alright, boys.
That's that. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.